Hello. Please say hello if you can see this, because I never know how long it takes me to actually go live. I am so grateful that we've got another lovely guest behind the scenes, and thank you to Penfold. Let me just turn that there. You can see Penfold up there for sponsoring this live tonight. This is episode 4. So those that don't know who Penfold are, they are a latest pension provider. So if anybody's using the NAFT Nest, check it out. Check them out. Their website will be in the comments, and thank you for sponsoring. So without further ado, let's bring on Olly. Here's Ali. Hi, Ali. So we are live. It's working. Let me get Olly in. Here's Olly. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I can't believe. How long ago did I ask you to come on here? Was it a couple of months?
Yeah, I think it was early January, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And I remember thinking, oh, it's miles away, and then not worry about it. And then the last 3 or 4 hours, I've been worried about it.
So the reason why I asked you, well, I've been following you for a few years anyway, and one of your posts went viral on LinkedIn, which obviously got more traction. But I was in a meeting a girl, and she was talking about Magnus and on LinkedIn, and I was thinking, I know who you're on about. She had haulage, she's lorries, and he's so inspirational, he's positive. And I was like, oh, Olly Magnus. And she's like, yeah. So we searched you up. And how mad's that someone that I'd met for the first time mentioned you? And I said, well, I'm doing LinkedIn Lives and I want inspirational people to come on with different backstories. So I said, I'm going to message you. And that's exactly why I did.
No, so I'm glad you did. There we go.
Yeah. Have you done a live before?
Was it live? I've done 3 or 4 recorded ones, I think, but they weren't live. So they probably. I've just got to be really careful I don't swear. That's my.
You can swear. Anything can happen on these lives, although LinkedIn probably cut it off. Do you know? We don't know what LinkedIn. Just want to say hi to Mohammed and Lisa for joining us tonight. There's a few more people that'll be jumping on, and obviously, if you watch it on replay, comment and any questions, bring them forward, and we'll still answer them. So tell us a bit about you for the people that don't know, because obviously I know because I've been following you. Where'd you start?
How far do we go back? So long story short, from a work perspective, I've always been in logistics and shipping. I often question why I'm in that industry. But I used to work for a shipping line, and then I travelled to Australia. My father was from Australia, so I've been there 9 times, I think. Unfortunately, I had quite a bad accident in 1997. I fell out of a window, 40 foot out of a window. So I left the shipping line, and so that was.
You fell out of a window?
Yeah, I don't remember it, but yeah, apparently I did. It was off a balcony, So that was my first night in Sydney. I was supposed to be going around the world for a year, and first night got a bit overexcited. Next thing I woke up, I was in intensive care for 13 days, and then had a view of the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House for the next. I had to lie flat and all this sort of stuff. So So then I came back to the UK, and then ended up working for my dad which was Magnus Group for a couple of years.
When did he start that in 1973?
That's it, yeah. Well, we think it's 1973, but we were going to have a party last year, so we made it 1973. Yeah, no, it was 73 or 74. So it's been a long-standing business. So I worked there for a couple of years. Always had this itch to go back to Australia.
Okay.
Plus, it's very difficult working in the family business. It goes one or two ways. They either fast-track you through it, or they just ignore you. It was pretty much the latter with me, which I had no problem with.
Who's they that ignored you?
My dad. Yeah, I mean, it was more you get on with it. So I reported to other people, and it was just one of those. This isn't for me. So I went back to Australia, partly to exercise some demons from '97, if you like.
Yeah.
So I had a year traveling. I actually wanted to stay in Australia. My sister was born in Australia, and I was born in Woodbridge near Ipswich. So I lucked out on that one. But if I'd have had an Australian passport, I would stay there. I was very settled. And it was kind of, when you're like, well, what shall I do? Shall I, and I didn't do a day's work over there. That's probably why I loved it.
Yeah, but that's it. Freedom.
All I was worried about was where the next beer was coming from. And I just followed the cricket around. Things and so I ended up coming back because I had to, because I only had the year visa. Then I started a freight forwarding business with a friend at the time.
Yeah. What year we're talking now then when you started that business?
2003.
Okay.
So 2003. So we started it from nothing and just freight forwarding, made it really successful. Two very different people.
Yeah. What your business partner and you were very different.
Yeah. Which actually is a good thing, but it turned out to not be a good thing because we fell out. We probably fell out every 2 years, but we had a big fallout. 2017, I think. I could go into the details, but I'm bored of it now, to be honest. But it became very acrimonious, unnecessarily as well. We were two different people. We had different strengths and all that sort of thing. But I've kind of moved on from that now. And so I left there in 2018 when my dad died. So my dad died sadly in March 2018.
Can I just ask, was you on LinkedIn at this point as well, or not?
No. If I was, it was a bit like I am on Instagram now. I'm on it, but I don't really use it. But I think I was, but I think I probably had 100 followers or something. But honestly, I never used it.
100.
I've got treble figures, But I didn't really use it. And then the opportunity to take Magnus Group was it was there for me if I wanted it, but I obviously had to pay for it because I didn't get left anything when my dad died. So I had sold my half of the freight forwarding business and then ploughed it pretty much all into Magnus, and it was an opportunity, and it was what
was the business like at that point then? Was it like needing support? Was it needing
it was, the guy I bought, so I bought the shares off my dad's business partner who was 74 at the time. My dad died at 71. The MD was early 60s. The other shareholder was 64. So there was no succession there at all. So it was actually perfect for someone like me to come in, and it was an opportunity, but it was a huge gamble. Really was a huge gamble, both financially and reputation-wise, if you like. But if because I'd sold my shares in a successful business and I was taking the punt on, I arguably, but I'm 99% sure if I hadn't have bought Magnus Group, it would have gone at the end of 2019. Certainly when COVID was there, they were paying their drivers a pittance. So, but to 2 years, it was hard work.
Was it? Because you did. So how many employees did it have when you started?
I had about 80.
80?
So it took on 80, and then it had 100,000 square foot warehouse, drivers and all that sort of thing, and then the warehouse next door became available, which was another 100,000. Now, anyone sane would have walked away from that, but because being sane is not something that's leveled at me very often, I actually took the gamble on it. On this. So actually, it was a crazy gamble. But so this was the end of 2019. But then, of course, COVID hit at the start of March. What did everyone want? Everybody wanted warehousing. So actually, it was a great decision. Because it was right place, right time, but it could so easily have gone the other way. But
talking about right place, right time, do you believe in luck?
I believe in fate.
Do you?
Yeah.
So everything happens for a reason.
I do, yeah. I mean, I do. I mean, I've got to be honest, in the last couple of months, I've questioned that. However, in 6 months' time, I might
know the answer.
it might become clear and understanding, you know.
Yeah, well, I've just had a message. Grant Phillips has said the legend that is Olly Magnus. I think he's one of your buddies on LinkedIn, isn't he? Grant.
He is. He's got massive guns, Grant.
Send us a picture of your guns, Grant, in the comments.
Yeah.
And
Great
Rory Berry said 2 absolute legends. And if anyone else believes in luck or everything happens for a reason, comment below if you've got a thought on that, because I'm a massive believer, and that's probably some of your content on LinkedIn, which a lot of people love.
Yeah. It's again, I do genuinely think everything happens for a reason, but you know, the way it ended at Magnus, again, I do question that. But you know, the third year we went from 9 million to 26 million turnover in 2 years.
Yes.
You know,
was that strategic? Did you are you the type that has to sit down and get a goal and plan with the accountant, financial advisors and all that, or not?
No, I'm the epitome of wing it.
Yeah.
Wing it, you know, what's the worst that can happen?
That's me.
And I'm not condoning that. I'm not saying that's the right way to do it. It's just the way that I do it.
Yeah.
I've never been a real planner. I've never been, you know, if somebody says, can you formulate a business plan for me or something, I'm like, oh my God. If they said, let's chat it over in the pub over a pint, it's perfect. Again, absolutely not the right way to do it, but it does work sometimes. Sometimes I do genuinely think you can overcomplicate business.
Yeah. Oh my God, too many people do that, to be honest. Wait for the perfect moment.
Yeah, exactly. So we struggled for 2 years, and it was kind of, we kind of referred to it as a break it to fix it. But from my previous business, there was a lot of micromanaging going on, not by me, but I took that and I turned it upside down and created a team of people. So there's transport, there's warehousing, there's freight forwarding. So I created this team, which for a time worked really well. One part of the business wasn't working well, which again is my fault. It's something I look back on now that I should have been a lot more. My biggest problem is I'm too nice. I'm not ruthless enough.
Hang on. So I spoke to a leadership woman on my last live called Heather, and she has this theory that you can't be too nice. It's about being kind.
Yeah.
So in business, you've got to be kind, but you can't be too nice. Do you think you're too nice, or would you say you're just being kind?
Bit of both.
Do you think you don't get walked over though? You don't come across as that type to me.
No. But I very much took Magnus on with the ethos of employing people to let them run things. That's because there's nothing worse than employing people. And don't get me, make no mistake, I was paying these guys decent money. And but then the last thing they want is for me to be saying, you should be doing this, you should do that. And it worked well. It worked well for 2021. We turned the corner. We did some pretty good things. At 26 million, we made a really decent profit.
Wow.
And then the Ipswich Town sponsorship thing came along, which I get a lot of grief for now, because a lot of people say that was one of the reasons we went. Well, it's absolute rubbish because nobody wanted to sponsor that stand. I'm sure there were, but it was not a lot of money at all. At all. It worked for me. I signed a deal, and it raised my profile, or the business profile, hugely. So absolutely.
Again, another winging it decision, but you lead with your heart, I think, and your gut feeling, and that's a little bit where that's why I think I can relate to you, because that's probably a bit more me. I am trying to be more strategic with our business and logical and stuff, but I'm a bit like you. I lead with my heart and my gut. What's my gut saying? And I want the people to drive the business and have their ideas come forward.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, it wasn't my decision to do that. I created the opportunity, and then I went to the board, of which there were 5 in the board at the time. And honestly, if they'd have said no, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah,
I'd have pushed to have done it. But every single one of them, some of them weren't even Ipswich fans. One of them's not even a football fan. They all said, one of them actually said, yeah, if I can meet Ed Sheeran, it's a no-brainer because he's the main sponsor. But they all said it's such an unbelievable opportunity. But yes, so we did it, and it just, again, it took Magnus to another level, and it was just at the right time as well, because Ipswich were in the third tier of the Football League, so League One, midway, and suddenly we got promoted and all this sort of thing, and we're now top of third in the Championship. So, but obviously that became
then. So 2021, how was you feeling when you saw the figures and everything was working? Tell me, was you happy?
That's a great question. Because for the first 2 years, it was a real struggle, and every night it's difficult to sleep because you don't know if you're gonna. And I'd invested a lot of my own personal money, and there's, there was suddenly in 2021 there was 150 people working at Magnus.
Oh, so that's double.
Yeah, but I'm responsible for all of them, and then suddenly I have a bit of a profile, and everybody's looking, and the first 2 years you're desperately trying to make it work for a number of reasons, obviously for everyone, and then when you get there, I mean, 2021 I won that Director of the Year, the local award, and suddenly 2021 probably. I was actually 2022. Sorry, I won it. I won that. It was a great year. Everything was going right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, and this is just where it can change so quickly. From the end of 2020, 2023 was horrendous.
Really?
I said earlier, our electricity went from $3,000 a month to $22,000 a month at the end of December.
Oh my God.
And inflation, interest rates, because we've grown so quickly. And you borrow, suddenly your borrowings become huge, don't they?
Sure.
You can't keep up with it, and it just coincided with the market falling totally flat. I mean, 463 hauliers went bust in the UK in 2023.
God.
And it's still carrying on now.
It's so high, but then feeling that churning feeling of knowing things are actually.
Yeah. So in answer to your question, how did I feel? I felt better. I felt good, but I felt it's what's the next stage? You kind of made it to the level that you aspired to make it, and then what's the next level? And then very quickly, the rug was pulled out, and once it starts to go, it's so difficult to control, and then you go back to not sleeping because you're worrying, and it's like
sure.
Right,
there's a couple of questions that come through. One from Lisa saying, what keeps you motivated?
Good question. It changes, I guess. What keeps me motivated? What motivates me now is building myself back up, because I've gone from down there to up there to back on the floor now, probably lower now than I've been for a long time.
Yeah.
But then you have to have a positive outlook in, actually, if I can get back up, or even halfway or a third, I don't want to go back to the level it was before, but I'll take more out of that, because I have been pretty low and rock bottom in the last couple of months. What keeps me motivated? Just trying to do the right thing, trying to, I stay by my morals and the way I am, and looking after my family, really.
Yeah. And then another question from Steve. Have you ever felt content with what you've achieved? Be honest, because I don't think I have.
No, I don't think I have, but it depends how you quantify what you've achieved. What did I achieve? I achieved a business that was employing 150 people, and it was really well branded, really well regarded. But again, it's that $1 million question: have you achieved? Have you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like,
what was it all for when you was doing it? Did you actually enjoy it? Do you know what I'm saying? So you built it up. Was you doing it for you, or was you doing it for your dad, do you think?
Bit of both. A lot of it was to prove people wrong, because of my acrimonious fallout from my previous business.
Yeah.
And when I came out of there, the problem is we had a lot of mutual friends, and I was hearing that it was being said I was never going to make a success of it.
Yeah.
I didn't have it in me, and it's
Yeah.
you know, a lot of these things people say to make themselves feel better, don't they?
100%.
Point
100%.
the finger at me, but I can't deny there was a large part of me that wanted to prove people wrong. You know, certain people, but ultimately it's a weird thing when your dad dies and suddenly this business. It was like it was calling me a little bit. So you know, the stars aligned a lot. You know, in
Yeah.
a way that the
Yeah.
timing was perfect.
Yeah.
Would I, if I hadn't have fallen out in my you know, I earned 3 times in my previous business what I
Yeah.
ever earned at Magnus, but it didn't
Yeah.
make me happy. You know, I was
Yeah.
totally unhappy. Was I really happy at Magnus? Yeah, I would never say I was totally relaxed. I was never relaxed. I was never.
Do you think I don't think that's a job role as an employer, as CEO, or what, a business owner. Do you think you ever are relaxed though? I don't know.
No, I'm a lot more relaxed at home now. Apart from I have to empty the dishwasher. I have to do. My wife gets home at 6, so it's like the 5:30 run of emptying the dishwasher, washing up, and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That stresses
He's
me
a
out.
house husband, by the way, for anyone.
And a very bad one, I have to say.
Yeah, because women are good at this.
Yeah, but when it all went, and it went at the end of November, but the whole of 2023. I mean, that's the size of that business. It didn't take 2 or 3 bad months, and you're massively on the back foot. So from probably February time, it was you know, we made redundancies in January in line with the market, and we just couldn't keep up. And I took out personal guarantees, which I've now got on my head now, which I did, but I did that in April to make sure the staff got paid. You know, and I just didn't think it was the right thing to just wave the white flag and without giving it a go. And it kind of come back to haunt me, really. But
no, I know. I've got a really good question for Rory, actually, is to both of us. If both of you had only one piece of advice for people running a business, what would it be?
Don't do it. Oh, no.
Oh, it's a good one. For me, it's all about the people. And that's been a hard learning curve for me, that you can't treat everybody the same, and you can't treat everybody how you want to be treated. You've got to treat people how they want to be treated. That's been a massive learning curve for me, because even if I'm a certain way, I have to be understanding of other people's certain ways too.
Yeah, 100%. It's really you can never manage everyone the same way. Some people want an arm around the shoulder. Some want to be shouted and bawled at.
Yeah.
I'm not a shouter and a baller,
No.
but I employed a couple of people that possibly were, and then you kind of work out who the best people to manage certain people are.
Oh yeah, that must have been a task for you. Someone actually inboxed me. I forgot to say this. I must have posted that I'm doing this with you, and they inboxed me to ask me something, maybe sell me something. But they did say they used to work for you and that you were a brilliant leader.
Brilliant leader or neither?
Yeah. leader. I can't remember
well,
the exact wording, but it was a positive about you, very much so.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
No, it's. I just wanted to lead. I always wanted to lead people how I wanted to be led, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, actually, and respect, because I never wanted to be that leader that my door was shut. My door was always open, and this is one of my many faults, is I treat people in business as my friends, rather than as.
Did you just call it a fault?
Yeah.
It's not a fault though, I don't think.
Well,
but I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I get too close to people, and when they did say I'm a great leader, I actually I'm also quite needy as a leader, which is why I take things too personally. And since Magnus has gone down, I can count on one hand the amount of people that I've heard from that whether I was close to, and I put everything on the line for it. But again, that's me being needy, and it's like I tried to create that environment where it was the family environment, if you like, where and you have to understand that not everybody thinks like you, and that's where I struggle a little bit. In a way. But
if we've had another question for Tariq, I think I said that right. Would you start over again in the road haulage business?
See, my previous business was freight forwarding, so I didn't actually know a lot about transport. Okay. So I kind of took on Magnus, which was a transport warehousing. When you're freight forwarding, you kind of jack of all trades, master of none, if you like. Yeah. You're just an agent. You're farming stuff out. To suddenly then come into, which is why I had to employ people who did know transport, and there were obviously guys already there that knew it. So I kept them and added bits and pieces. I don't think I would, because I don't think I know enough about it. I have loads of contacts in the transport business, but the actual ins and outs, the nuts and bolts, it was never my.
I think you're breaking up now. Oh, he's back. It's whirling.
Am I?
Oh, you're back. You're back. Don't leave me now, for God's sake. You left us hanging there.
Where did you get to? My kid's probably on the Xbox or something, probably taking up the internet.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying I probably wouldn't go back into the haulage industry.
No. I can't wait to see what's next for you, because I feel like you should keep doing what you're doing on LinkedIn. Opportunities are out there. Keep sharing who you are. Rory's put, actually, being human in an inhuman world at times is not a bad thing, Ollie.
Thank you, Rory. Very kind.
It is. It's so true.
But again, I've got one or two plans for the future, but I didn't think I'd enjoy being at home as much as I have done. It helps that my wife's at work, if I'm honest.
Yeah, out the way.
But yeah, no, I thought I'd really struggle, because I'm actually a bit of a introvert, but I'm also an extrovert. I like my own time. To myself. But actually, I'm sleeping 8 hours a night now. 2023, if I averaged 4 hours a night, and that's not good for you.
Do you track your sleep? Do you track it?
I did have something that it ran out of battery, and then but we said earlier everything happens for a reason. Then maybe that was because it was killing me. Whatever was there. And I've got one or two things. I do these charity sporting lunches, but things like that.
Nice.
Trying to do a bit more of them. I raised 20 grand for charity in 3 events last year. It's like.
Did you? Do you share? Yeah. I'm sure you share them on share about it on LinkedIn.
Yeah, and they're locally to Ipswich and things like that. But I'm friends with Marcus Stewart, who used to play football for Ipswich, and he's got MND.
Okay.
So I try and raise money for them, and I'm a patron of Suffolk Mine, so I raise money for them as well. So good events.
And you know what? That's so kind that you do stuff like that, and I think it's brilliant. I think good things will come. It's just it doesn't feel like it in the moment, and I can't even imagine what you're going through. And to be honest, it will make you more resilient. I feel like the more things have been thrown at me over the years, it does make you stronger, but it just feels really shit at the time.
Yeah, no, 100%. And as we said earlier, before we came on here, I've learned loads more than I actually realise I have.
Yeah.
From all of this, I've learned that I shouldn't trust quite so many people as I do.
Yeah, because you do speak on LinkedIn about toxic people and people that bring you down type of thing, and people hanging around people now don't dare say anything and just put up with it. And I don't agree with that.
I heard something great the other day. Somebody said people they're in love with the title, not the person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And potentially there was a bit of that. I don't know.
That is so interesting. Where people just follow popular people in social media is probably a part of that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, but I've got something up my sleeve that's I'm going to kind of announce soon. So
can you not just give us a little clue?
The only clue is it's still in the same industry, but just the question earlier about being in business, that one of the answers to that is to try and be light on your feet a little bit. My problem at Magnus was I had too many assets. With trucks and warehousing and things like that. And if the warehouse is half empty, exactly, and try and just build up from nothing, bit again, but on my own, a bit more solo. So
yeah, if you need an accountant, you know where to go.
Yeah, well, it's not one of my strengths. I know that for sure.
Oh, bless you. There was something I was going to... Oh, yeah. So let me just tell everyone, the reason why I found Olly on LinkedIn was because one of your posts went viral. Just tell everybody how much reach it got.
Yeah, it was just one of those random things that I just did off the cuff. I didn't think about it, and it was a post called "This Man," and it was just a synopsis of my life, really, as it was at that time. And I think it was 2021, and it ended up being seen by 1.3 million people or something. It just went ridiculously nuts, and totally unintentional.
It was but the thing is, it was a brilliant. You were very good with your words, and this is why your posts do well. So let's not get that. You've got some good things up in here that you're sharing.
I've also got some random things up in there.
The best people do.
Yeah, but so many people say to me, "Who writes your posts?" And it's like, I've written every single word of every single one, and I actually think, do they think I'm really stupid then? If they don't think I can write my own posts.
I'm using ChatGPT.
No, but you can do it with this AI now, can't you? And it's like, I haven't tried it, but
I haven't tried it, and apparently loads of people are like using it, and I'm that person that probably wouldn't even notice.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you the same? Like, believe in everybody.
Yeah. But yeah, no.
So messages, by the way. Lisa's put, "Good luck, you deserve it." That's lovely. And Rory said, "He can. If you want any help, please shout." And anybody who's watching this on playback, this is going to go on YouTube as well at some point. We'll be sharing shorts of this. If anyone's got any insights on any of this or wants to reach out to Olly for some support, not selling anything, then please do.
I tell you what, one thing I will say is there are some amazingly kind people in the world, and primarily on LinkedIn. I mean, some of the messages I get, and I'm sure you do, but some of the messages I get, you know, somebody's offered me their cottage in the Yorkshire Dales for a week for free to cheer me up, and all this, just honestly, there's some really lovely people, but most of them I don't know, really. Have you gone? You're frozen now. Are you there?
I'm back.
You're back. Yeah, you froze then.
I'm back. I think it's just the internet going. But anyway, we're past the half an hour. I just want to say thank you so much for being a guest. And if anyone's got any questions after watching, please reply and we will comment back. I'll end it here. But thanks to everyone for watching and listening. And thank you for being open and honest as well, Olly.
No, thank you for inviting me. Very much appreciated.
All right, I'll end. Just stay on a minute. I'm just ending it.